Good morning, all of you. So we have been doing clauses, fine. So today we will continue from where we left yesterday. We only looked at the definition of subordinate clause and we understood what a subordinate clause and how to identify a subordinate clause in a sentence. Fine. Now there are further subdivisions under subordinate clause. There are further three types of subordinate clause. They are known as adverb clause, noun clause and adjective clause. So if you remember yesterday only I told you that clauses, they perform the function of these three parts of speech. Fine. So based on their function, based on the functions they perform, we divide, we further subcategorize subordinate clause as adverb clause, noun clause and adjective clause. Okay. So now let us look at each one of them in detail. First one is noun clause. Now, what are noun clause? A noun clause is a subordinate clause which functions as a noun. So as the name suggests, it is very easy to define a noun clause. Okay, it will always function as a noun. Okay, which part of speech will it function as? As a noun, because as the name suggests, noun clause. Okay, it answers the question what. So now you will have to keep this thing in mind, that you have to ask a question what when you read a sentence, and when you will get an answer to your question what, that answer will be your noun clause. So we will look at the example and get a clearer picture of this definition. Now, the first example, as you can see on the screen, is this. He knows that he will pass the exam. So by looking at the sentence, first of all, what did I tell you? You have to find out the finite verbs. So we see there are two finite verbs, knows and will. So by looking at the number of finite verbs, you can tell the number of clauses present in a sentence, isn't it? So there are two clauses. He knows and that he will pass the exam. So now we know that there are two clauses present. Now further, we are going to identify which clause is the main clause and which clause is the subordinate clause. So as you see, he knows is making a complete sense and it can stand on its own. Therefore, it is a main clause. Fine. Then that he will pass the exam. If you read this sentence exclusively without, not in the context of he knows, then you will see that this sentence is not making a complete sense. Fine. So this becomes a subordinating subordinate clause, because the other thing is that it is beginning with a subordinating conjunction, so that also makes it a subordinate clause. Now, how are we going to identify it as a noun clause? Okay, so I told you that you have to ask question what. So what does he know? That he will pass the exam. Okay, when you ask the question, what does he know? What is the answer which you are getting? That he will pass the exam, and that he will pass the exam is your subordinate clause. It is giving you the answer to what. Okay, answer of what. So therefore we identify it as a noun clause. Okay. Then coming to the next example, what you learn now will help you in future. All right. So yesterday when we were doing subordinate clause, I told you that there are two ways of writing subordinate clause in a sentence. One way is to write towards the end and the other way is to place them in the beginning. Fine. So the first example is of the category where you write subordinate clause towards the end after the main clause. And the second sentence, I've taken the example where we place subordinate clause in the beginning and it is separated by a comma. So what you learn now is a subordinate clause. Fine. It will help you in future is a main clause. So this is another way of writing a sentence, of joining two clauses where you see it, the subject in the main clause has been omitted. Okay, so instead of repeating it, what you learn now, it will help you in future. So instead of in order to make it a continuous sentence, we have omitted it. All right, so will help you in the future becomes your main clause. And what is a subordinating conjunction? So we know that what we learn is a subordinate clause. Now how is it a noun clause? Yes, it is a subordinate clause, we are able to identify. But how do we identify it as a noun clause? Again, you have to follow the same trick. You have to ask the question what. What will help you in future? What you learn now. Okay, so the answer of what you are getting, this clause you are getting as the answer for the question what. So therefore, this becomes our noun clause. Okay, is this thing clear? Fine. We'll move on to the different functions of a noun clause. See, all the functions which are performed by a noun, those many functions are performed by the noun clause. Okay, because it is nothing but acting as a noun. So, like a noun acts as a subject, similarly, noun clause also acts as a subject. Okay, that it would rain seems likely. So that it would rain, first of all, it is coming in the beginning of the sentence. So most of the noun or noun clause which come in the beginning of the sentence, they act as a subject. And the second thing is that they are the performer of the action. Subjects are always the performer of the action. So here you see what seems likely, that it would rain. All right, so this here it is acting as a subject. Further, you can see that noun clause also acts as an object of the verb, just like a noun does. Everybody knows that he is an honest man. What does everybody know? That he is an honest man. So he is an honest man is coming after, it is following a verb. That is why it is known as the object of the verb. Okay. There are objects of preposition as well. Noun also act as object of preposition. When does it act as object of preposition? When it is placed after a preposition. Okay, so here the noun clause is placed right after a verb. Okay, knows is a verb. I hope all of you will agree with me at this point. So known is a finite verb, and the clause, noun clause, which is placed after knows, that is acting as an object of the verb. Then another function of noun clause is to act as the object of a preposition, like I told you. Okay, pay careful attention to how I am going to perform the surgery. Now, to, if you see, is what? It is a preposition. So any word which acts as any noun clause which is present right after the preposition, which is placed right after the preposition, that is known as, that functions as nothing but object of preposition. Okay, so here to is not a verb, it is a preposition. So the noun clause which is placed after to is object of preposition, not an object of verb. I hope the difference between the two is clear to everyone. Now, I have also made slides of the conjunctions which precede a noun clause or which introduce a noun clause in a sentence. All right. So if you see whether that, if, but one thing is there, you should not stick to these conjunctions. Okay. Because there will, when you will read further, you will find that these many conjunctions only, they introduce other clauses as well. Okay, but what your focus should be, it should be on the function of the clause, the function which a clause is performing. So that concept should be clear in your mind. Instead of looking for these conjunctions, you should understand, or you should look for the function which which a clause performs in a sentence. So anyway, you can have a look at all these words, like whether, if, that, all these words, they introduce a noun clause in a sentence. You can see the examples over here. He said that he knew the new neighbor. So what did he say? That he knew the new neighbor. So here you see a noun clause is being introduced by the word that. Then he asked me whether I knew the new neighbor. So again, whether is introducing noun clause over here. She asked me if I would like to have coffee. So here, if is acting, if is introducing the noun clause in this sentence. Then WH words, although these words are pronoun only, they are pronouns only, but I have written them exclusively so that you can, it will be easier for you to memorize or to remember. So all such sorts of words which begin with WH, like why, what, who, when, there, which, all such words also introduce a noun clause in a sentence. Like he asked me why the child was crying. Okay, they decided which car they would buy. He asked me where I went last week. Fine. She wanted to know when the doctor would come. So you see that all such words are introducing noun clause in these sentences. Next, again, there are further pronouns like whatever, whoever, that, which. All such pronouns also act as or introduce noun clause. Like my dog eats whatever food I give him. The assistant showed us where we should leave our bags. Okay, so you should not get confused by the word like where, because where denotes place, isn't it? But so you might misunderstand it as adverb clause of place, but you will be wrong. You will be mistaken. Why? Because you have to look at the function first. The assistant showed us. What did the assistant show? Okay, what is a noun? It is a name of person, place, animal, or thing, isn't it? That is the basic simple definition of a noun. So place also comes within the purview of noun only. Fine. So the assistant showed us what? He showed us the place where we should leave our bags. Okay. So in this case, it is acting as a noun clause. So have you people understood noun clauses? Yes, Divyanshi.
Ma'am, I want to ask one thing. That ma'am, in a sentence, only one word will be acting as a noun. In a clause, only one word will act as a noun. So, ma'am, do we have to see whether any word is functioning as it or not to determine a
No,
noun clause?
I did not say that one word will act as a clause. How can a word act as a clause?
No, ma'am, not a clause.
Then
Ma'am, in a clause, one word will act as a noun. So, ma'am, the whole
no, you did not get the concept right. The whole clause will act as a noun. You cannot identify which word is a noun in this case. Okay. So what is your question? Or complete your question.
ma'am, like these words, whatever food I give him. So, whatever is not a noun.
No,
Not
it
a,
is not a noun. It is introducing the noun clause. Okay, noun clause begins with such word.
okay, ma'am.
Okay, it is not noun. It is a pronoun. If you look at it individually, it is a pronoun. But why I wrote all those things, why I showed all those words, just you understand that all those words they introduce or the noun clause begin with such words generally. Understood, Divyanshi? Yes. Any other confusion in noun clause? Have all of you understood? So we will move ahead to the other types of clauses. So now we come to adjective clause. Okay. An adjective clause or a relative clause. So adjective clauses are also known as relative clause. It is a subordinate clause which performs the function of an adjective to a noun. So what is the function of an adjective? To describe or to modify a noun. Fine. Same is the function of adjective clause also. Okay. So the noun being described by the adjective clause is called its antecedent. So whatever noun you will find in a sentence which is being described by the adjective clause will be called as its antecedent. All right, so you can make a note of this point. Fine. So the adjective clause answers the question which. So whenever you ask which in a sentence, then you will get adjective clause as its answer. We'll look at the examples now. Like Mary's sister has blue eyes. Okay, this is a sentence which has just one clause. Mary's sister has blue eyes. Fine. So if we write it in a simple form, blue is adjective, very easy to identify. But if we are supposed to write this sentence, or if we are supposed to transform this blue, the adjective, into adjective clause, how are we going to do it? We will be writing it in this way. Mary's sister has eyes which are blue. So instead of writing blue eyes, we will be writing eyes which are blue. Okay. So when we write like this in this manner, so it becomes adjective clause. Okay. How did we change blue into the adjective blue into adjective clause? By writing it in this manner, which are blue. Okay. So which are blue in this clause, which is the subject, are is the finite verb. It is a dependent clause because it cannot stand on its own. It is acting as an adjective. Fine. It is describing what? It is describing the noun eyes, isn't it? So eyes will be called as its antecedent because it is being described. Yes. So a noun which is being described is known as antecedent, and the clause which describes the noun is known as an adjective clause. Okay. Fine. Next sentence, next example. Vikas is the chef who taught me how to cook. Who taught me how to cook is an adjective clause. Why? Because it is describing the noun chef. Okay. So what do we know more about chef? He is the one who taught me how to cook. So this is a further description of the noun chef, right? So chef is its antecedent, and who taught me how to cook. Cook is an adjective clause because it is describing the noun preceding it. Can we look at another example? This is the dog whose leg is broken. So which is the dog I'm talking about? Whose leg is broken. So again, this is broken leg is describing this noun. This clause is describing the noun dog. So dog is its antecedent, and whose leg is broken is an adjective clause. Fine. So an adjective clause is a dependent clause that modifies a noun or a pronoun just like an adjective does. An adjective clause is introduced by relative pronoun like that, who, whom, whose, which, or relative adverb like where and when. Okay. And it always begins with a relative pronoun or a relative adverb, as I have already told you, and it is either the subject or the object of the clause. Then the antecedent of an adjective clause should always occur just before the clause. If you look at all the examples which we did, where did we find the antecedent? Just before the adjective clause. Okay, here also you can see. Then in this question also, in this example also, all the antecedents are placed just before the adjective clauses. All right, so that was all about adjective clause. Have you people understood? All right. So we move on to the adverb clause, the last type of subordinate clause. Dependent clause that functions as an adverb in a sentence is called an adverb clause. Fine, like the name suggests. It modifies a verb, adjective clause, or other adverb clause. So if you remember the function of an adverb, the function of an adverb is to modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. So same is the function of an adverb clause. It modifies a verb, adjective clause, or other adverb clause. Since there are no verb clause, so we have used the word verb only, not clause. Although there is a verb, there is a category of verb phrase, but not verb clause. Okay, we only have adjective clause, adverb clause, and noun clause. So you can see on the screen there are so many types of adverb clauses. Okay, there are many types of adverbs also. So as many types of adverbs, those many types of adverb clauses. Okay, you are already familiar with all the types, like adverb clause of manner, adverb clause of time, place, purpose, cause, condition, result, comparison, and contrast. Okay, so let us look at each one of them individually. First one is adverb clause of manner. Adverb clause of manner, I'm so sorry. It answers the question how. The subordinators or the subordinating conjunctions used here are as if, as though. Look at the example. She talked as if she knew everything. So how did she talk? If you ask the question, how did she talk? You'll get the answer as if she knew everything. So as if she knew everything becomes our adverb clause of manner. Adverb clause of time. It will answer the question when. Subordinators, all such conjunctions will be used which denote time, like when, after, before, until, while, since, whenever, till, etc. Okay. Rahul reached the station after the train had left. So after the train had left becomes your adverb clause of time because it is telling us the time when Rahul reached the station. Next is adverb clause of place. It answers the question where. So subordinators which will act as which will denote place are used over here, like where, wherever, whence. I have kept it where I can find. So where did I keep it? Where have I kept it? Where I can find it easily. So adverb, it becomes adverb clause of place. Then adverb clause of cause. It answers the question why. Okay. Why are we performing certain function? Why are we performing an action? So the answer which we get to it is our adverb clause of cause. The subordinating conjunctions which are used here are because, since, as, and that. I did it because I wanted to. So why did I do it? Because I wanted to. So this becomes our adverb clause of cause. Okay, then next is adverb clause of purpose. So, why am I doing something? I have certain purpose to attain some goal. So that becomes adverb clause of purpose. That, in order that, so that. I have practiced hard. What is my purpose? Why am I practicing hard? So that I win the race. So this is our adverb clause of purpose. Okay, next is adverb clause of result. So what are the subordinators which are used? So that. Okay, the pair is used. They are not written just next to each other, but they are written in such a way that so will come in your main clause and that will come in your subordinate clause. Same will be the case with such that. Okay, so let us look at the example. He spoke in such a way that only few could hear him. So that only few could hear him becomes our adverb clause of result. He spoke in such a way becomes our another clause. All right, main clause. Then adverb clause of comparison, when we compare two similar objects, or when we compare two objects which are unequal in their rank. So as is used like in simile, and than is used for comparing two things which are not of the same level. Okay, so she is as wise as she is beautiful. So that means equally wise as she is beautiful. So this acts as adverb clause of comparison. Then adverb clause of contrast, which is used to bring about contrast. Okay, the difference. Like though he is poor, he is honest. So though he is poor becomes our adverb clause of contrast. The subordinating conjunctions which are used to introduce adverb clause of contrast are though, although, even if. Fine. So this was all about your adverb clauses. I hope you people have understood till here. Yes. And now we are left with the last type of clause, that is coordinate clause. So let us do that also. Coordinate clauses. A coordinate clause is a clause that is a group of words containing a subject and a finite verb. That is the basic requirement of a group of words to be a clause, isn't it? So coordinate clause also have a subject and a finite verb. But the distinguishing factor over here is that it is introduced by one of the coordinating conjunctions. So we discussed the other day, you people told very correctly that the acronym fanboys is used for coordinating conjunctions. And what are they? For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. All right, so I have written written down this over here so that in case you have forgotten, you can refer. So these are your coordinating conjunctions. So only 7 you have to remember. Okay, so they are always introduced by these coordinating conjunctions. Any one of these 7 conjunctions. Let us look at the example. It was apple blossom time, and the days were getting warmer. So if we look at the types of clauses present, so it was apple blossom time. It is a main clause because it can stand on its own. And the days were getting warmer. So the clause, the days were getting warmer, is being introduced by a coordinating conjunction. Therefore, the days are getting warmer becomes your coordinate clause. All right, and is your coordinating conjunction. So if you look at both the sides of this conjunction, you will see that both the clauses are of independent nature. Okay, the clause it was apple blossom time, which is written on the left side of the conjunction and the clause which is written to the right side of the conjunction and, the days were getting warmer, both of them are main clauses. Okay, so that is also one characteristic of a coordinate clause, that it always joins two main clauses. Subordinate clauses, they join one main clause to a subordinate clause, but the subordinate clause, subordinating conjunction, they join a main clause to a subordinate clause, and coordinate clause, you will find both the clauses are main clause. Okay, so the coordinating conjunctions are used to join two clauses of equal rank. Equal rank, by equal rank I mean that that both of them will be main clause. Okay, independent clauses or principal clauses. So have you people understood all the three types of clauses and all the subdivision of subordinate clauses? Any questions so far? You may ask. Yes, Arav.
Ma'am, can you show the types of adverb clause? Ma'am, one I was unable to note down.
Anything else apart from that?
No, ma'am.
Yes, Athar. Yes, Divyanshi, if you are unmuted. Yes.
Ma'am, to check that whether the second part of the sentence is a coordinate clause or not, then ma'am, while checking, will we include the coordinating conjunction or
Yes,
just,
you have to write including the coordinating conjunction. Okay, see, I have written over here.
but ma'am, when we will be checking that whether it can stand on its own or not, then we will just see that.
Then you will ignore this conjunction.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Athar. Yes.
Ma'am, as in the subordinating clause, because we can there is a option that we can first write the subordinate clause and then the main clause. So that can be done in the coordinate clause also, or it is for only for the subordinate clause.
It's only for the subordinate clause.
As both the
Okay, because in coordinate clause, both the clauses are main clause only. So there is no need of writing any other, the coordinate clause ahead.
okay.
Yes, Arav.
Ma'am, I had a question that the example which you gave, that Vikas is the chef who taught me how to cook. Ma'am, how is it answering the question which?
Which chef am I talking about? Vikas is which chef? Okay, who taught me? So that is describing. That is describing the word chef. Understood, Arav?
Yes. So, ma'am, the question is asked from the dependent clause.
Yes. Dependent clause will only be your answer.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Athar, you have something else to ask? Okay, you can lower down. Fine. So now you people have understood still here. So we will solve some exercises. Athar, keep your video on. This exercise we did yesterday already. Did we do this one? Okay. So you have to identify the main clause and subordinate clause in this. Yes, Divyanshi, the first one.
Ma'am, the main clause in the first one is the bankers need to know, and the subordinate clause is what they should do.
All right. Next. Yes, Arav.
Ma'am, as soon as the teacher entered the room is the subordinating clause, and the student sat quietly is the main clause.
Very good. Next, this is the farmhouse where they live.
Ma'am, this is the farmhouse is the main clause. Where they live is the subordinate clause.
What kind of subordinate clause is it? Where they live? Is it a noun clause or an adjective clause or an adverb clause?
Ma'am, it is a noun clause.
Okay. How do you know that? Guessing?
Ma'am, because no, ma'am, it is telling the place where they live.
Good. It is acting as a noun, basically. Yes. Fourth one. Yes, Tasneem?
Wait, here is the main clause, and till your parents come is the subordinate clause.
Correct. Which type of subordinate clause is it?
This is a. Ma'am, I'm quite confused by this.
Okay, what idea do you get when you read till? Time?
Yes. Oh, adverb clause. Adverb clause.
Adverb clause of time. Okay. Last one. Yes, Dave. I want to know whether the answer is correct.
Ma'am, I want to know is the main clause and whether the answer is correct is subordinate clause.
What kind of subordinate clause is it, Dave?
Ma'am, noun clause.
Good. It is a noun clause. Okay. Now, here are some sentences in which noun clauses have been used. So you have to identify which part of the sentence is a noun clause. Quite easy. So be quick in answering these questions. Okay, yes, Aryan.
Ma'am, that she would pass is the noun clause.
That she would pass. Good. Okay. Next, question number 2. Sentence number 2 will be answered by Divyan. Yes, Divyan.
Noun clause is why he was late.
Correct. Next, Priyanshi.
What he says.
What he says. Okay. Next, it is sure that he will get prize. Asir.
And that he will get the prize.
Correct. Last one, Pranshu.
Ma'am, please me.
Pleases me.
Yes, ma'am.
Subordinate clause can come in the beginning also. Where is the subordinate conjunction?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is the subordinating conjunction in this sentence? That is the subordinating conjunction over here. Okay. So any clause which begins with a subordinating conjunction is a subordinate clause. That you have come. What pleases me, that you have come. All right. So this becomes our noun clause. So don't expect the noun clause or any subordinate clause to be present only at the end. All right. So we'll move on to other set of exercises. For that, I'll have to change my screen. So you'll have to again bear with me. All right. So now in this exercise, you have to identify the adjective clauses. Okay. The boy who is standing near the building is my brother. Let me see who will answer this one. Yes, Sudhanshu.
Ma'am, who is standing near the building is my brother.
The whole thing, who is standing near the building is my brother. Till there.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me see. Vartul, is Sudhanshu correct?
Ma'am, I think only till near the building.
You don't have to think in my class. You have to be sure.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you sure about it?
Yes, ma'am. Who is standing near the building?
Yes, so you are correct. Who is standing, Sudhanshu? Pay attention. Who is standing near the building only till here? Because is again is a finite verb. So two finite verbs cannot be present in a clause. I told you yesterday. Okay, so don't get confused, children. Keep all the points in your mind while solving the exercises. Okay, so who is standing near the building is an adjective clause. Vartul, are you still unmuted? If yes, so tell me where is the main clause? Where are you? Yes, Vartul.
Ma'am, the boy is my brother.
Yes, so the boy is my brother. I've asked this because sometimes in some of the sentences, what we do, we split the main clause in order to insert another clause. Okay, so this is one such example. Fine. Next, all that glitters is not gold. Who has not got the chance to answer so far? Kushi, your screen is completely black. How should I give you permission to answer? Yes, Laksh.
Ma'am, all that glitter is non-subordinate clause.
What did I tell you? A subordinate clause begins with a subordinating conjunction. So do you think all is a subordinating conjunction? Can you identify a subordinating conjunction in this sentence?
Ma'am, that.
Correct. So your subordinate clause will begin from that only.
Ma'am, that glitters only.
That glitters. Yes, correct. Okay, and if we would include is also, then we would be having two finite verbs in one clause. So that would be incorrect. So this is our adjective clause, and all is not gold is our main clause. Correct. Next, this is the room that my sister has occupied. Okay, yes, Shivansh.
Ma'am, the answer will be that my sister.
That my sister. Only that my sister.
No, ma'am, that my sister has occupied.
Correct. So that my sister has occupied will be our adjective clause. Last one, my uncle who lives in Paris is a pilot. Okay, yes, Inshra.
Who lives in Paris?
Very good. And where is the main clause?
Main clause, my uncle.
Only my uncle. What will happen to
My uncle is a pilot.
Correct. So now you people are getting the rhythm. Next, you have to identify the adverb clause in these sentences. Priyanshi, have you answered today? Yes, he takes medicine because he's ill.
Because he is in.
You will have to tell me the type of adverb clause as well.
Ma'am, reason.
Adverb clause of?
Ma'am, reason.
Cause, you mean? Yes. Adverb clause of cause. Correct. So our answer will be this part. Because next, you are safe as long as you drive safely. Arav?
Ma'am, as long as you can drive safely. Ma'am, it is a adverb clause of comparison.
Adverb clause of time. You are safe till when? As long as you drive safely. Okay? So it is not comparing two things. It is telling you the time till which you are safe. All right. So it will be adverb of time. Okay. Next, I'll not go to the school if it rains. This one is simple. Come on, try it out. I see the same students raising their hand. Okay. Yes, Divyan.
If it rains.
What type?
Condition.
Adverb clause of condition. Very good. Next, you can go wherever you want. Sudhanshu? Correct. Wherever you want, adverb clause of place. Very good. Okay, we'll move on to the last exercise. Here you have to identify subordinate clause. And after doing that, you'll have to tell me the kind of clause it is. Whether a noun clause, whether it is a noun clause or an adjective clause or an adverb clause. I'm giving you a minute's time. Have a look at all 4 sentences. Get your answers ready along with the reasons. And then you may raise your hands. I am giving you time with the hope that I'll see more participation. Okay, so let us take the answers. Aryan, the first one, she said that she was honest.
Ma'am, she was honest, and its kind is adjective clause.
Is it describing something? Where is the noun present before it? An adjective clause will always have a noun preceding it.
No, ma'am, sorry, ma'am, it is a noun clause.
Yes, because it is acting as the object of this verb said. Okay, so noun
yes,
clause.
ma'am.
Correct. Next one will be answered by. Okay, yes, Asir.
Increases his cares.
Increases his cares. Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
No, incorrect. Okay, mute yourself. There is a lot of noise coming from your end. Just listen. Okay, your answer is incorrect, so pay attention. Divyanshi.
Ma'am, who increases with its adjective clause because it is defining the pronoun he.
Very good. It is defining the pronoun he. Next, it is not clear why he has done this. Yes, Dev.
Oh, ma'am, why he has done this?
Okay. What is it?
Ma'am, noun clause.
Correct. Noun clause. Last one, try to finish as I have shown you. Tasneem?
It is an adverb clause. Sorry, as I have shown you, is an adverb clause of manner.
Very good. So it is an adverb clause of manner because it is modifying this word finish. Verb finish. Correct. So I hope that you people have understood everything. Yes. You all may lower down your hands. If still anybody has any doubt, then you may ask. Divyanshi, you have a doubt? Yes.
Ma'am, is it always necessary that adverb clause of manner answers the question how?
Yes. Adverb of manner also asks question how.
Ma'am, so in this last one, try to finish as I've shown you. So, ma'am, how is it answering that word how?
It is telling them, if you look at the sentence, then it is showing the manner only. No, try to finish. How is the person supposed to finish? As I have shown you. So in that manner, in the manner in which I have shown. Okay. Yes, Priyanshi.
And the last question, I'm not getting how it is adverb.
Try to finish as I have shown you. Okay. First of all, see, as I have shown you, it is it can play two roles. Okay, because it is placed after a verb, right? So as I have shown you, can act as a noun clause or it can act as an adverb clause. It cannot act as an adjective clause. So that is ruled out. Okay. Let us practice elimination method. So I have asked you to ask question what in order to identify as a clause as a noun clause. So if I ask question, what should you try to finish? Are you getting any answer? As I have shown you, is it a possible or logical answer to that question? I don't think so. It is not. So what are we left with? We are left only with an adverb clause. So this is by elimination method. Now I'll tell you how to identify it as an adverb clause. See, try to finish. You are supposed to try to finish. Okay, I was mistaken. To finish, it is not describing, it is not modifying to finish, it is modifying this adverb try, this verb try, because to finish is an infinitive. Okay, so I'm so sorry for that. So it how should you try? As I have shown you. So as I have shown you becomes your adverb clause of manner. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Yes. So I'm extremely sorry. I said it is describing, modifying this verb finish. However, this is not a finite verb. This is a non-finite verb. So it is modifying this verb try. All right. So that was all. Thank you.